We need to hit 5,707 points. Let's go. So annoying. I don't want to pay hundreds of dollars to just change my Windows wallpaper just because my Windows isn't licensed. Well, why don't you try Hookies? That's a ton cheaper. And if you use the code TN20, you get it even cheaper. Okay. 220 millimeters, 440 millimeters. And as you can see, PPA and PPB. We've got some more brown covers for the bottom bit. Ooh, actual wood, walnut. What is this?
What do you mean? How do I get it and how is it possible?
Well, see this video here, or the one you're watching. Click in the link on the video description, add the Windows 11 CD product to the cart, proceed to checkout, add the code TN20 for the extra discount.
So what, the Windows 11 Pro OEM key is just $23.22?
Yeah. Choose the preferred payment option and complete the purchase.
That was easy.
Samsung 9100 Pro, 1 terabyte. The key will be available on the purchased orders in a few moments. Copy the key and paste it into your Windows activation settings, and you're all done.
Well, that was easy.
Done. This is the Arctic Liquid Freezer 3, but workstation version. Is that Ryan Gosling?
No.
Anyway, by the way, the same discount code also works website-wide, so go check out other products, maybe like Microsoft Office. Finally covering all of the IHS here. I assume that just goes on top just like that. So again, with the Intel socket installation, there is a weird thing how you should actually, all of this should be put onto the CPU block and then you'd hang everything in there. But that feels like if it just slips off the little hooks, it's just gonna drop down into there and then you're probably gonna wreck your socket. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna clean the socket and then keep it in there. And then I'm just gonna pop the cooler on top. So do it a little bit of an old-fashioned install because I think it's gonna be better that way. Spread it out. Oh, it doesn't want to spread as much. This thermal paste doesn't want to spread as much and it's kind of peeling off the CPU. So I don't know why. So I'm going to try a new one of these, the MX7. Oh yeah, that looks better. To be honest, this MX7 doesn't spread as nice as some of the other ones. So that should get us a nice coverage. Unplug this. Is this right, Torx? Nope. So this is Torx T30. Just so you know. In essence, that's installed. Water pump. So I suppose it goes into there. Arctic P12 Pro PST fan specs. These are going to 3,000 RPM. So I'm actually going to use these because these are better airflow than what we have on Noctua. I can see that this front bracket can come off as well, and that will be easier to build in with these two screws from the front there. I suppose I should do that. How did I manage to put this the wrong way now? Oh. These fans, they're the wrong way. Whew! Okay, now this can flip and then go on the top there. I can already see that even though this supports E80X motherboards, there is an interesting thing happening over here. Okay, that does not exist there. Yep. This does not exist there. It's there. This is there. So this does not exist, which means we're gonna have to take that off. Why do I gotta make it so complicated always? Why can't you have a straightforward PC build? Okay, these there, and that should hang off. I've gotta check something. Oh no, this motherboard literally doesn't fit in there, I don't think. It's gonna hang on the side, on this there. Okay, this is the do not attempt at home moment. Yeah, look, it's gonna hang on the side. We're gonna have to have lots of cables coming up from there. I mean, how bad is it? Maybe you can do it. I mean, right screw first of all. That's the right one. Okay, let me think if we're gonna attempt this. Perhaps it nicely supports this on the side because it's like, it literally perfectly fits into there. Yeah, what if I don't fully screw it in? Hey, welcome to Tech Notice. If you haven't seen PC videos like these before, it's not clean, but it works. Sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do and don't tell these people. But let's just say if you were doing it, I'd probably go with a different case, okay? So this very easily goes into there. Like that, there's plenty of space in there. But before I do that, there's lots of other cables and stuff that I would like to get out of the way here first. So front is 140 millimeters. So PPB, PPA. So we'll put the A in the middle. Is it? Yep. Can we put 3? Yep. Yep. 1 in the back as well. So let's do this. Now we could put 2 fans in the bottom here as well. The question is, do we want to do this? I'm not entirely sure about that yet. Put that back in here. Yeah. Okay. For power supply, Noctua Seasonic TX1600, the absolute balls to the wall, best power supply money can buy in the world. See, there's one of the issues. See that's like, hey, I mean business power lead, right? And then what actually comes with this PC case is, I mean business. That does not go into them. That they're different. But as you see, this is a very interesting thing. Why don't we have a normal power supply in the back here? What is this over here? It's because it's actually got a bit of a shift thing happening here. You can put the power supply sideways in it so that the back of the power supply is in there. And that's why you've got this extension cable in here. So you could plug it into there. And then all the ports would actually come out from this side, which would mean that you've got very easy access. This is so big. It doesn't fit sideways like this. We'll have to put it the normal way. But the good thing is, if you remember in the box, there was the normal bracket, so the back bracket actually comes off and we can attach the normal power supply back it the normal way and have the cables come that way. And I think I'm gonna get rid of this in here because we're not gonna put hard drives into it. That's our next goal. You can attach one hard drive in there and an SSD or more if you wanted to, but I'm just gonna remove it because we're not gonna be using it. See, that just comes off very easily. It goes in that way, which means I want fan down. The cool thing is those screws that come in that case, they're actually labeled. So on it, it says PSU. Yes. So we need a lot of cables. And this power supply also comes with really nice Noctua already color-coded cables. CPU, 5090 CPU. I think we need 2 CPUs. So there's 2 CPUs in there and then 2 CPUs on there. Okay, it's one of those where we're gonna have to figure out, I'll have to get the manual out to actually look which ones should you plug in first? Because there are 4 CPU power cables. 2 on that side, 2 on that side, which is odd. So on this manual, it says that if you've got a single power supply, then obviously the dark bits is what you're going to be putting in, right? And then these you don't need. So does that mean that I only need to put in this and then 2 of these and no CPU? Okay, here's another one. Let's have a look what this says. So this says, yeah, that is the weirdest thing I've ever seen. According to this, you're going to have to plug in only PCIe cables like on this side and leave the tops empty, which is really weird. So that means that those CPU cables that I just pulled out, I'm not going to be using them. We need PCIe, yes. CPU, no. That's the weirdest thing, because usually you always need CPU cables and the PCIe is like the extra power that you need. Okay, the motherboard cable, 600, PCIe. I mean, in essence, they're both 12-volt power cables. Or does this just mean that these are black ports, as you can see, and these are silver ports? I think I still need all of the power. So here's my thinking. If you have 2 power supplies, then you just add these 2 as well and the ATX Power 4P connector, which is wherever the heck that is, somewhere. So I still need all of those cables. Okay, I think now I'm getting it. Usually with a power supply, you only get 2 CPU power cables. That usually have 2 on the top there. But the thing is, they require 4 plus another 2 PCIe cables. And they have actually labeled them separately. So that one is CPU, so you have the CPU power cable, and then one is PCIe, but they both power the CPU. So let's try this. So this is CPU, and that should go on that side over there. This is CPU, and this is CPU. So these should just plug into there. What the heck? This is in the way to plug in power cables. Obviously that should go in the last, I suppose then. I know, CPU goes on that side. PCIe, CPU, okay. So one CPU goes on that side, and the other CPU goes, you have to be very careful. One of them is PCIe and one of them is CPU. So even though these 2 look exactly the same, 4 plus 4, but there's actually full squares and then some of the corners have been shaved off to make the connectors different. And in order to know which one is the difference, the CPU one always splits into 4 plus 4, whereas the PCIe cable splits into 6 plus 2. I'm going to remove this again. This CPU cable goes onto there. Then PCIe, that goes onto there. Then motherboard. So usually you would have a better slot to put this through, but we're gonna have to see if we can plug it through there. See, the interesting thing is this doesn't even fit through there because it's too long of a way. Is that gonna fit if I do this? Yeah, okay, so that fits, which means this has to go that way. Another PCIe. So that goes onto there. It's actually easier to see as well that the CPU connectors have this silver coating around them on there. You can see, and then the PCIe ones don't. I think I'll put both of these from this side so we can actually see this on there, which is the Dr. Debug. Then I'm just gonna zip tie all of these together later. Look at that. That's going to be one heck of a cable in there. But the good thing is, because everything is accessible from both sides, plugging cables in is going to be super simple here. Okay, they're plugged in. So basically these 4 fans, the 3 in the front, and then the 1 in the back. There is a hub in the back, which I'll show you in a minute. So these 3 fans that are on the cooler, we can daisy chain them together. So I'm going to do that. And then only one cable is gonna have to go onto the motherboard, just like that. And this needs to go into the CPU header in there because it gets the temperature from the CPU, and then we want those fans to act or react according to the CPU temperature. This goes back up in there, but I'm gonna plug this cable in because I'll have less space later. This I'm gonna push in the back. all of this cable vom. So it looks messy, but actually we just need to sort some of these things out. So there's a cable. Okay, I think it's easier if I remove these as well. So you can have some more storage in the back here if you wanted to. 2 more hard drives, so 3 hard drives altogether is what comes as standard. So we're in some ways using quite a right case because it's quite a workstation-y case, but let's just remove them. You can see that there is the fan hub. Interestingly, we need power. Oh, this is magnetic, so this moves around. So it's not glued onto anything. It's a Noctua fan hub. Oh, it's a Noctua fan hub. Can I say that again? These 2 fans that are in the front, we have enough cable length in here to just plug them into this here. The usual thing about fan hubs is that if you've got the fans that run exactly the same speed, then you're gonna have quite a harmonic noise coming from the fans because they're all the same speed. But because all of Noctua's fans are PPA and PPB, which means they're slightly offset in terms of their speed, meaning you can plug them all into one fan hub like this, but they all kind of work in different frequencies, which means you're going to get a lot less noise overall. Usually what you would do is just plug all of these onto your motherboard and then adjust the fan curves slightly differently to each of the fans, so the fan speeds are not exactly the same, but slightly higher, slightly lower. But here we can just plug them all in because they're already kind of pre-tuned like that. So one in the bottom here, we could just leave that into there. I'm just gonna plug it in from here. Okay, that goes there. And I'll put the other ones back because it makes it nice and clean in the back. If we have these there. Look, all these cables now like get hidden behind there. There we go. So all the front fans are plugged into there. The back fan is plugged into a different header. Now we just need the main header. Where does this go? Where is it? So all of these extension cables, I'm gonna remove the ones that I'm not using just to have less cables in here. So I don't need these. Okay, this is the one that needs to plug into something. This is the main input where that goes in. But I'm going to use one of these extension cables. I'll leave this into there as well in case you need another one, but I'll leave this extension cable and we just use one of those big ones that we unplugged from there into there. We'll make it go down this and then later it's gonna go, ideally, I want to do it now, but that goes somewhere in the front there. So let's sort this cable out. Look, there's already pre-routed cable management on the side. So let's do a little time lapse when we're sorting these cables out. So all of these cables are gonna be hopefully zip tied together and then out of the way. That goes into our GPU. Are we gonna put these in there just like that? Or we're gonna put fans in there. For GPU, we've got an RTX 5090. I'm gonna put it here. I'm gonna leave one slot from the top. There it is. The nice thing is everything felt super solid. The card feels really solid the way it is in. I'm just super happy how this feels. Maybe it's worth taking this up from there to hide the cable a bit more. Okay, last thing to plug in is RAM. That's gonna go over there. Let me figure out which slots are we gonna use. Is there a cheat sheet? This platform is actually 8-channel memory, but I've only got 2, so. Okay, if I've got 4, it's A1, B1, E1, F1, A, B, E, F. That's interesting. Interesting, on Threadripper platform, it would have been completely different layout because I just pulled these out from the Threadripper platform. So this is 128 gigabytes, 6400 megatransfers per second, G.Skill, RDIMM. This way. Okay, RAM, SSD, GPU, all power cables are in. Everything's in. I mean, this is test boot time now. Power. Let's hit that power button, see what happens. I can hear stuff. Those two fans are super loud. These two fans generate most of the noise in this PC. The rest of them are very, very quiet. So the yellow one right now means it's training or checking the RAM, our memory. Red is CPU, yellow is RAM. And then when we get to white, that means it's checking our GPU. What do you reckon? Shall we put fans in there or not? Light went off, let's wait for it. What comes next? Was there any other colors? Oh, wait, GPU. Because this is a workstation board, what can happen is there might be a switch on the motherboard somewhere, as you can see on the bottom there. Because it's got a built-in little GPU on this as well for management part, and so you can actually, oh, we're getting a post, so please, yeah, there we go, look at that, look at that. Okay, I want to delete, I want to enter BIOS. Okay, lots of new things has happened. There we go. We are in BIOS, and because this is a workstation board, we get this old-fashioned stuff happening in there. So our platform is W890. We've got Intel Xeon 696X. I'm not gonna overclock this yet, but I think there's a lot of potential here. DOCP, well, DOCP does not really go for this because DOCP is for AMD. Don't think XMP will work in here. It's already on default. It's ASUS Advanced OC Profile. It's not on Intel, so we're gonna see what happens. Basically, because I don't have any Windows, any operating system installed onto the drive, it just goes onto the subsystem that is just on the motherboard, the one that controls all of the stuff that's happening, like everything that's plugged in, I can see this, and there's lots more stuff that's very complicated for some developers, and you know, whoever wants to control this PC can do that because this is a server port virtually or separately. You can connect to this, if you connect this to the, like Ethernet port, you can control everything what it's doing separately. So if someone's got an issue, you can kind of get into their PC and fix it remotely. So I'll install Windows and then we'll be back when Windows is installed.
Six months later.
Okay, here we are. We have finally completed this build. This is like months later. See this little screen over here, because Antec's case is very, very new, they had some kind of issue with this screen, and after months of going backwards and forwards and them actually connecting to my PC and figuring out, they realized that there's some kind of errors with the software, but now it's finally working. I can see my CPU and GPU temperature right on this screen. And look at this beast of a PC. In case you don't know what we are running in here, this is the Intel Xeon 696X or 696X. Intel, what are you playing there? This is a 64-core CPU. That's why this is the Intel Threadripper. So I'm curious to know how good is this, and if this is anywhere near the AMD Threadripper CPU. So I guess let's open up the hardware monitor here. I want to see this on that side. What I can see is that on default, it's kind of unlocked from the motherboard settings on BIOS. PL1 and PL2 limits 4,000 something watts, which seems to be unlocked. It should have a default TDP of 350 watts, which is similar to what we see on AMD Threadripper. Well, it is the same, but we'll see if that actually is the same here. So if we are looking at the 7980X, which is 64-core Threadripper, we need to hit 5,707 points in Cinebench R24. So 5,700 points to go. Let's go. Okay, we're pulling about 384. 80 to 90 watts. Right now it looks good. We're over 5,800 points, but well, suddenly it went down. So we'll see where we get there. But look at the core temperatures. We're pulling over 380 watts and the core temperatures are maximum of 60 degrees. That's very, very low. Okay, 5,339 points. We're not quite beating the AMD Threadripper, but I don't know if we've got other limiting factors in here. Yep, we don't want that. I'm gonna turn some of these things off. And then what I want to know is if all of the cores are pulling exactly the same wattage. Yep, all the cores seem to have the same kind of temperature. So it's not like one of them is efficiency cores or something like that. It's literally a kind of chucking through 380 watts without any sweat whatsoever. See, a little bit less, so seems like this did not help as much. Let's try one with the hardware monitor off as well. See, around 5,390 points, so almost 5,400. But the thing is, apparently there are some settings on BIOS that we might be able to change. So let's see if there is any power limiting or power boost on BIOS, even though it seems unlocked and it pushes to 380 degrees, but there seems to be so much more in store in terms of temperature, and we should be unlocking this as well. Now, I tried to install XDU for this Xeon to see if we can unlock this, but because this is a workstation one, it doesn't really work on the Xeon, on this particular 64-core Xeon. So what I'm going to do is see if we can do something in the BIOS. By the way, just a tip for you, if you're ever building these, there is one switch somewhere on the motherboard, and then this allows you to switch on and off the onboard graphics, because this motherboard has onboard graphics. A tiny VGA, yeah, because on the back of the motherboard there's a VGA port, so you can get video output, but when you're on Windows, it actually notices or detects that screen as well. So sometimes you might not you get a black screen because Windows actually loads onto that VGA rather than your main screen that's connected to the graphics card. Okay, please. Yes. Okay, we are in the BIOS. Let's take a look around in here a little bit. Performance. Yes. Okay, so it already had ASUS Advanced Profile. DOCP. Well, I don't know if that's going to work because we don't have, I think they are AMD Threadripper ones. Let BIOS optimize, enforce all limits, remove. Okay. So multi-core enhancement, remove all limits. Yes, that's the one we want. So save configurations and exit. Let's see what happens now. Okay, we're ready. Let's see what happens. By the way, look at these workstation chips. So right now it's idling. There's not much to do and we're pulling about 100 watts from the socket. Just idling at 100 watts. Some CPUs boost to that type of wattage. This is just idling at that. So let's see what happens now. Literally no difference. Still 380 watts. Let me see if we can remove the 90 degrees limit as well. Again, not much of a difference. We're around 380 watts. See, can't install XDU. This is as much as it gets, really. So what can I say? Firstly, PC build, as always, super exciting, very interesting to do something that is especially rare these days. Intel Threadripper, if we can call it, on a Noctua PC case, it's absolutely insane. Arctic Cooler is cooling it so easily. It's literally not even breaking a sweat whatsoever. 380 watts, It's fine. I think it can do like 500 or something, even more. It's absolutely insane. So if you go and put it on a Threadripper, it's a fantastic cooler. As always, Arctic's absolutely knocked it out of the park, especially price to performance standpoint. What I would say about this PC is very, very interesting. Is Intel actually winning against AMD Threadripper? The answer is no, not really. We can't even beat the 7000 series Threadripper, and the 9000 series Threadripper is even better, which just means that Intel's a little bit behind. But what Intel should do on their Threadripper system is do similar what they do on their desktop, systems where you have hybrid architecture. Just put your efficiency cores on the Threadripper, and then some of the performance cores. Let's say you only have, 32 performance cores, but then 200 efficiency cores. That would be absolutely insane, because then you can pack so much more in there and get so much more performance, but it's just not going to work apparently like that. Otherwise Intel would have done it already. Intel, I'm still waiting for you to do a big W, but so far we're still waiting. AMD is still winning. Thanks guys for watching. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Bye bye.